folks. We're going to do some artwork this morning. What is up? My name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them and I publish them online. And my screen is in the way. I'm fixing my screen still. I need to make social media posts with the link that I got. So give me if you're new to the channel and you're catching this in the future, skip ahead a minute, and I'll see you on the other side. But for folks that are caught here in space-time with me here now, I'll go through my quick intro here. That should be fine. Okay, great. Well, yeah, I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online. We're creating an adventure for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition using the new 2024 rules in the world of Eberron. It's called Crystals of Mabar. We're fighting necromancers, undead, and demons in the Carnwood of Carnath on the continent of Corvair, and it's for characters 7th and 8th level. I'm done with the social media posts, so let me fix my screen, and we'll get to work on some more artwork today. If you think this stuff is it being cool, hold on. There we go. Okay, everything is squared away on my end. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. I've made a bunch of books on the DMsGuild over years. Here are a slew of links to different stuff that we've been doing. All my books have free previews, so chock full of my art and ideas. Give them a look. And with that, let's just get back to work. So we're at the point where we've got this and 6 more illustrations after it are little vignettes that are filling gaps in the pages of the book. It's 16:9 format. It's gonna be a little off because YouTube doesn't sync quite properly, but this fits perfectly onto the Asus monitor, the 16:9 monitor that I'm using. Devices like this, each column is 9:16, so you can look at it one column at a time vertically if you want to. On my monitor, it looks fantastic, and when you download and take a look at it yourself, you'll see how perfectly it fits into your tablet, screen, or phone. So you can use it behind your DM screen on a tablet if you want, and just manually flip through it. We've built the navigation bar down here, and once the PDF is built, like if I were to click this button, it would take you to the gatehouse, which is the dungeon that this icon represents throughout the adventure. But I digress. Got about an hour or so to get stuff done today. Hey, what's going on, Fox? So let me grab my tools window, and we're going to do crate. We're going to do the crate that these things are resting on, and the texture that it is including. So this is our back line here. I'm gonna grab some black. I don't know why my mouse is... I'm still using 2022, and Adobe wants me to update to 2025, and I am resisting. Let's go like this. Let's drop that down. Come on, what is going on with you, piece of machinery? Thank you. Not happy with them and shitifying my machine. You know what? I'm gonna do this differently. We're gonna leave that backline as a reference point, but I think I want to use the magic of perspective. Let's see. If this were straight on, I think that would probably be the size of these planks. So I'm gonna merge these layers down, duplicate them. We're making wooden slats that this is resting on a wooden table, So let's duplicate that layer, and we're gonna scooch it down. So we're going to create the wooden planks that this is on, and then we're going to do the perspective with them so they fan out. Let's go with duplicate layer again and scooch this up. So that'll give us 3 planks to work with. Merge down, and I'm going to extend these guys a little bit. That way we have a little extra space for us to work with. Let's make this disabled. Get rid of this layer, we don't need it anymore. There we go. And just get everything set up here for us to do the thing. Let's duplicate the layer one more time, just for, excuse me, just to have thoroughness. It's not like it doesn't take a lot of effort to make these slats, so we may as well do a number of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then one more for kicks. Duplicate. And then merge down. Then we're gonna go grab a texture. Let's see. I need to go find what is the word I'm looking for? I need to go find a crate. I want to find crate coloring. This'll do. This should do. Let's see if this is the right spot. This one might be too. Yeah. There we go. I wanted to grab that color. Hey, Def. What is it? What is your suggestion, kind sir? Since you brought perspective into this point, would each be slightly smaller? Yeah. We're gonna use a perspective tool. I'm doing it flat, so it's easy for me to do the texturing, and then we're gonna hit it with the background. We're gonna hit it with the perspective tool. Free transform, perspective. Perspective. That's about right. Like that. Copy, paste. See, we got there, and where our bits go? Yeah, see, there's our perspective lines, so we can reference to this. There's there. It is going to be at a slight angle, so we'll have to keep that in mind when we do it, but bip, bop, cool. Right on, man. I like to not use tools when I get the perspective tool, like the morphing tools. I do enjoy them. If I can pull something off manually and not have to use the tools, that's a skill shot thing. Sometimes I just want to do that. But yeah, generally speaking, did you see how much that perspective got shifted? I need to really extend these lines a lot to make sure that the perspective point is going to remain legit for this. So I have to really extend out these boards. And then doing the texturing is we've done wood texturing a number of times, so I don't anticipate it being any kind of a problem here either. But it's pretty much going to finish off this piece, and then we'll be able to move on to the next thing, whatever that thing may be. We're gonna roll a die. We got 6 illustrations after this one, and then we're done. I started doing the hyperlink mapping last night. I got all the navigation bars on every page set up, so they now take you to the appropriate section in the adventure. So everything's looking really, really good over here. Inkwell, book, scroll, table, and then that's just background. So let's push the table to the front. Oh, feather. And what is your story? Just a blank spot. Cool. All right. Okay. Everything's prepped now. Let's go to let's go to our screen over here, and let's drop this down. But let's go wooden crate. That feels pretty good. Did not catch. Let's click on that. There we go. So let's see what we're looking at here. Well, the color that I'm using is pretty on point, so let's find a good highlight color and a good shadow color. There. So those are the two colors that we'll get to play with. And just like the pages of the book, we're going to do layering over it, and then we're gonna blend it into the page, and it's going to create knots and veins throughout the wood. So let's see. Before we get that officially up and running, is that the width that I want on the slats that I'm building? Yes, I think it is. Okay, cool. But what I want to do is first let's make a color mark here and a color mark here for our color references, and then here's our third here. So of the RGB up here, we can see here's our neutral position, here's our lighter, here's our darker. You can see how the saturation of color increases in the light and then decreases in the shadow. So we'll start with the shadow. We're going to do a fade on the line work so that it's less prevalent. There, about like that feels good. And now we're going to texture over that. We're going to drop down to probably a 4-point brush. I bet that'll feel good. The tools are still being sketchy on me. There it goes. There it goes. All right, so it's a little thin, a little thin. That's probably about right. Hey, what's up? I'm curious about these colors. Interested to see them laid. I guess we'll let's find out together. Yeah. So we're just making little loops and blurbles, making little like water flow going through here. That'll be our darker portion here, and we can stack these up next to each other. But I want to use my guitar pick and a smudge of probably around 30% will do. We got the full bar here, so let's really push it down to like 10%. I'm just grabbing and pulling a little bit just to stretch it out and blend it in a little bit. I'm going to duplicate that layer, merge that down. So that'll be our base. And then on top of that, we'll layer the new color. And I think I want to do like little pockets. See how this ends up working out for us. Yeah, I think underneath will work better. I'm going to drop the opacity on these down so they're less imposing. Let's scooch this like that. Got to break up that edge a little bit here. There we go. Well, I'm curious because there's a very stark difference in tone. I'm quite sure you can pull it off. With this light source is a piece of an oil lamp. There is general radiance. There's moonlight from the ceiling is in this chamber while the ritual's being performed. The roof disappears and it's open sky, basically looking up into the plane of Mabar. So and then the moon Siphoros is hanging overhead. So there's full moonlight. It's strong enough to provide bright light in the area. That and there's a beam of green energy that's being emitted from the chrysalis. Here, I'll show you. Here's the book cover. This is the chrysalis chamber. There's a beam of energy that's basically connecting the chrysalis to the moon of Siphoros. The overhead of the interior chamber is gone. It's black sky above with the moon hanging full over, pulsing energy into this chrysalis. So this is the type of lighting that we have available inside the environment. So it's a fairly well lit area. I think that feels pretty good. And I think I want to do another layer over that. Yeah, I don't want to hit those brights too much because those will the light will overwhelm it. But I wanted the backdrop in there. Why is this all fused into the same fucking layer? God damn it. Okay, well, let's avoid that in the future and go like this. Cut. Paste. Duplicate the layer. I had merging issues, but I'm not going to undo all that just to get lines back in place. There we go. There and there, and those are pushed to 100, so let's merge down. Let's drop that opacity. Let's put a lock on that so I don't fuck it up again. Okay, back on task. Let us add more dark. Another layer over that, like this, like that, and like that, and then something like that, and like this. There, that should be good. That out like we do. There. Not too shabby. That's down to like 50% for the light. Everything else is 100. Okay, cool. So that was good. One slat down and 4 to go. Let's box these up into a separate group, and we'll do another one. And let's see. Imagine all these highlights that have the same tone to the moon. Yep. Let's see. That's a thicker brush than I was using, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. It should be fine. Slats. Lots of wood slats. Cool. And then pockets. Right on. I don't mind at all. Ask everything. It is Thursday. Normally, I would be on this evening doing game design, but I have family coming into town this weekend, and they arrive this afternoon. So I will be spending time with family instead of being online with this family. So sorry. I'll be back to my normal schedule by Monday. I'm going to be. I have a. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to do lunchtime game design today. I think I'm going to have to punt that. I will be on. I am going to have at least a. I'm going to be on. What am I trying to say? I'm going to have at least a half day at work, but it doesn't have to start immediately in the morning. So my intention is tomorrow is to jump online here with you guys and do artwork Friday morning before family is up like usual. I've got some stuff that I need to do like in the office that should take me up to the middle afternoon, and then by 2 o'clock I'll be done with my day job and then spending the rest of my time with my fam. And then Saturday, I won't be around. I will be around Saturday morning. I'll be doing an early morning shift, the 6 o'clock shift, 6 to 8:45, and because that is early enough that family is not going to want to be up and interacting with me yet. So I can do my early morning work like I normally do, as though I was going to do playtesting Saturday afternoon, but instead I'm just going to go play with family. So I will be here Saturday morning, continuing with the color mana. I will be. I don't know how my day is going to parse out tomorrow exactly, but we will definitely be on Saturday morning to do more spell conversion for the color mana system. We'll pull that in like that, and then we're going to drop the opacity down to 50, and then we'll drop it to the bottom. Next layer is going to be knots. So find the bare area and just put some swirls in. That's a natural point. 1, 2. Yeah, that's good enough. I'm going to blend that in a little bit like we do. Just to smudge it out to get that stain going. And then another layer we'll put over this. Hit save real quick. But your chat probably doesn't know why Chime wants. Fair enough. Fair enough. Everything I think is. Well, if they stick around, they'll figure out what's going on. Where are we at? Here. This book is so close to done. So the navigation bar has been integrated into the Word document. And I have the successful the village map. The Peace village map has been fully integrated at this point as well. I've got 4. What I got? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 5 more maps to integrate, and I won't have time with family around this weekend, but with any luck I'll have all of that resolved by Tuesday. And that from Tuesday I then build the asset download where all this stuff is calibrated for virtual tabletop, and you can just plug and play all the tokens and the monsters and the handouts. I'll be building that folder, that download zip file. I'll be doing that probably on Wednesday and Thursday next week, and then I'll be pulling each individual page into the document to have all the illustrations drop in. And it's 100 some odd pages that I need to pull in. It's basically just making a bunch of boxes and filling the boxes with the artwork, and then checking for flaws, and then moving on to the next. That's 100 pages of basically visual alignment. The alignment should be perfect unless something weird happened. And if it does, it's going to require my involvement to resolve it. but I'm anticipating that being the book being completely strung up, all the download assets ready to go, and then I have to build the product page that's going to be on DMsGuild.com. And once that gets done, if I have any artwork left over to do inside of the book, we'll fuse that into the final document, and then we'll be able to publish. I don't know how long the rest of the illustrations are going to take. I like to think that, I mean, like, I've spent a week on this one for no reason other than I wanted to. So, like, there's no rhyme or reason why something takes longer than the other than I just dive into the art of it. It's not a great excuse, but there it is. 1, 2, I like these. These will be good. Alright, let's keep at it. We'll go here. I think I can afford to do all 3 layers at the same time right now, so I'm going to try doing that. See if we can collapse our time frame here a little bit, get this one done, and move on to the next piece. We have 5 pieces, I think 5 pieces after this one. So I'm going to roll a random die just to see which one we're going to work on. We'll peel open that page, we'll figure out what's going on, and we'll find an illustration to do, and then we'll get to work on it. That's how we do this process. We go through the big illustrations first. Well, technically we go through the maps first, because the maps are going to be the same wherever they are in the book. So that doesn't really matter. That's a good starting point for adventure production. And then once the maps are resolved, we plug those into the pages, and then whatever space is left over is dedicated to illustrations. We start with the biggest illustrations first and work our way down to the smallest illustrations. Generally. Exceptions as intuited. Boy, we are just damn near out of stuff to do. We're very, very close. I want to be done by the 15th. I'm not sure. I mean, who knows what's going to happen. But we're ridiculously close. Art will be the last thing that we actually need to do. Like, this type of artwork that we're doing right now is the last of what we'll have to do before the book will actually publish. I don't like being in that condition and in a place where, like, that's literally all we have to do. But if I've gotten literally everything else for the adventure resolved and ready to go, that means whatever hang time I have left in the evenings I get to advance the artwork. So we'll see. Once I get all this technical bit done on the sidelines, we will be collapsing time frames on whatever art remains very, very rapidly. But we are ridiculously close to publishing, so I can feel the contractions, you know? This baby is coming out. Hey, Gabby. Glad to hear you're having happiness in your life. Go sisters. That's what they're good at. There. Blend that in. There we go. If I have time to sneak on today for some lunchtime spell work, I will do so, but I can't promise it. So when I do, it'll just be out of the blue. So anyone that's interested in that isn't already subscribed, bells and icons will give you an update of when I kick on, which would probably be about 8 hours from now if it's going to happen. I bet I'll know by 2 o'clock if I'm going to be able to do this or not. We'll see. I'd like to, but I also don't want to overcrowd my day, so I'm being wary of it. I probably won't. My heart has just told me, no, you're probably not going to be online today. So I'm going to just take the loss now and say, sorry gang, no me today. But I should have time. We're going to, like I said, I'm not going to hook up with my family until later on in the day tomorrow. Oh, that's what's going on. I'm seeing the... There. That's her. What's going on with you down here? Hold on. Oh, that's right. That's that perspective line. Those perspective lines. Okay, my brain's on. My brain's set. I had to catch myself. Like, where am I at? There we go. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my brain took a brief vacation, but I found it. So let's keep going. Get out of the way. Did you see that? That little creative content studio tried to update like right in the front of me, pressing click. Oh, they were trying to ambush me there. I saw through your scheme. Hit save because Microsoft is locked up, or the Adobe's locked up on me again. Come on, buddy. Thank you. It's not. I might have to. It's probably my Wacom driver is probably what actually needs to be updated. It's probably not Adobe's fault at all. I'll do that. I'll do that today. Smudge that in. What is up? You said nope. She sees the future. And she's literally holding a copy of this book in her hand from heaven and saying, okay, this is the next thing to do. She's just tracing. She's using me as a highly complex bioorganic piece of art, a piece of machinery that can reproduce these things in our virtual environment. But yeah, she sees it all. She knows where it's going. That's why she can guide me so perfectly to the end result that she wants. Because she's literally like, she's got. I'm playing Super Mario Brothers. And, or rather, a better analogy would be, I'm playing Zelda, and she's holding Nintendo Power. And she's reading all of the tips, clues, and looking at all the maps, and she's navigating the adventure with me. And how could I possibly lose? Well, I gotta manually, do the buttons. But when I can't, she's like, hold on, I got this. And she'll grab the stick, and she will make the jump, loop, duck, tumble, whatever thing that you need to do to get through the level. It's like, there you go. And it's a partnership. So there's no pride involved with whether I can do it on my own or not. So that's what your intuition is. It's the future reminding you of what's about to become your past. At least that's my own insane personal theory. So take that for what you will. Like that. I love doing this type of texturing. It's so fun. Bro, these apps know exactly what you're gonna click. I catch ads all the time because they are placed right where my fingers sneaks in there. Hell yeah, man. Most because she even listens to me. That's the thing, man. We're all tapping into the same rhythm. We're just playing different instruments. We don't know why we say what we say to most people we talk to, and we don't even know why we're talking to them most of the time. We're just stumbling through life, pretending that we're driving when in fact it's on a roller coaster. It's going to take us through every twist, turn, dip, and loop that it wants to give us the best ride and most fun so that we want to come back and do this again. The more I can remember that I'm not in charge and that I'm here just to go on the ride and just let life unfold without me trying to conspire around it, it frees up a lot of mental power for me to appreciate what I'm already witnessing. And I don't think I could have that relationship with my life if I didn't do art like this, because I literally get to watch what manifests as a result of and he's sitting in front of the easel, and it just manifests. It took a long time for me to get to this point in art for me to be able to release control like that and enjoy being part of the ride. But to that point, as a species, we should all be getting better at understanding that we aren't in charge of the ride that we're on and learn to appreciate it. I think that's a very Bill Hicks sort of conclusion to come to, I think. But it certainly keeps my hair from turning gray. So cheers. I bet I'll end up with silver. I bet like around 75 I'm going to have silver hair. And I think that'll look super fucking cool. I'm going to look good as an old man. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I'm supposed to... this is the right place to be, but what I'm supposed to do is put knots. Knots first. Let's. This is a natural spot for a knot. Here's a good spot. I'm looking for these like little loop areas that lend themselves to knot. There'd be a knot here. Let's put one here. Here's a good one. Here's a good one. I don't want to overdo it, so that feels pretty good. Smudge that in, make that stain effect. I had, when I grew up, we had a finished basement in my home, and my bedroom was down there, and all of the walls in there had this fake wood, like this corkboard wood sort of. It was like it was a lot more like the highlights were lighter than this one, the darks were darker than this one, but it was just like 5-inch wide, maybe it was 6-inch wide slats that just ran vertically over the entire house, and all of them were just marbled with this pattern, and I would just sit and stare at them, especially when I was on mushrooms or acid. I would just sit and stare at these walls crawling all night, and because I was a big hallucinogen fiend in my 20s, because I was trying to figure out, because machinery failed my eyes, glasses couldn't work, I can't drive, I have got a lot of limitations, and when I got to college I was introduced to weed and mushrooms and LSD, and that was as far as I was going. Some people were getting into coke and stuff, and I'd never gotten into any kind of coke or shooting anything. I couldn't do that. But weed, mushrooms, and acid were just about a little bit of. I would do a little bit of Ritalin and speed occasionally for the classes, but for the most part, I started taking hallucinogens because science had, or rather, technology had already taken me to the limit of what I could do with my vision, but I still wanted more. So I decided to start exploring the plumbing inside, and the best route I thought would be to find that would be hallucinogens. So I did a shitload of hallucinogens in my 20s, a ridiculous amount of hallucinogens. So, because I wanted to find what may be there hiding for me if I was willing to go find it. And that led me down a crazy path of self-discovery, and ultimately, what it gave me was the ability to be content with the limitations of my vision. It didn't solve any of the problems, but it taught me that everything really is literally a matter of perspective. And once I started integrating that into myself, I was able to start appreciating the limitations that I was given as, if nothing else, a skill challenge to see what could I accomplish with myself. And that was the only way I could really approach it and not be bitter. So I'm very thankful for that time. And although my reality warbles a little bit when I run too fast too often and get my heart rate going too much, but that's okay. It's not like I'm going to be operating heavy machinery or driving anytime soon. I can afford to have a little bit of warble in my eyes. It looks pretty gray tone. I guess that was the thing. When I got ramped up enough, I could see the glow around leaves and people, and although it wasn't registering as different colors, I could just see this residual haze aura effect on people, and it was fascinating. It wasn't the same as though I'd gotten color vision, but it gave me a different sense. Like I started picking up on neon colors versus earth tones a lot easier as a result of those trips. So that's not a huge victory, but it is a shred of color information. And I'm more capable of picking up on lights, heat versus cool in the real world now. I'm still trying to figure out how to integrate that into the artwork that I do. But I walked away with some skill sets as a result of all that exploration. But reality makes stuff up for me all the time anyway. I suspect the hallucinogens ramped it. Where when I look at something, I don't know what it is, and it'll start automatically just kind of morphing into a shape that will make sense. It's like, that is not a six-legged bear. That is somebody running with a dog. Like, it'll snap into view eventually, but until it snaps into view and I realize what it actually is, it could literally be anything. And I just have to accept that I don't actually know what this is, and my brain is just trying to throw out guesses of possibilities so that I'm not disadvantaged. I minimize my disadvantage as fast as possible. That's what my brain does. Is it makes up answers to questions that my eyes produce. Like, what the fuck is that? And my brain will just start feeding in answers. It could be this. It could be this. And it'll keep randomly cycling through these, what could it be, until we actually figure out when it gets close enough to what it actually is. And that same process bleeds across everything that I do. Like, I don't know what you're going to say. My brain's firing off like dozens of things where this conversation could be leading. And I have to learn to ignore all of that shit. That's my struggle, is my brain cycles a lot. But that cycling helps, like when I'm doing game design, because it's always trying to find connections and ways to build patterns that are easier for me to identify and get on the same footing as other people with vision have as fast as possible. Because I'm always an attrition. I'm always falling behind what everyone else's information that they are absorbing. So I have to be clever about utilizing the environment and the resources that are available to me when I'm trying to just, where am I supposed to be in line at Wendy's to order food? Anything, whatever. The most mundane of things can be a challenge when you have very limited vision. I like this. I think this is good. Let's see if this pans out. So let's take the block of this. Let's fill that in. Let's do that. Let's duplicate our layer. Let's change our layer arrangement so that this is on top. And now I can fade this a little bit. Not too much. I need to be able to see my lines. I'm calibrating my shit. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's go into let's duplicate. merge. Drop the opacity a little bit. Free transform. Perspective. Stretch that out a little bit. How are we looking? Free transform. I know I want to squinch this a bit. I think that's where we want to be. Is that going to work? Table up. Reference layer, go away. That's pretty on point. Table. Something's locked. What did I lock? Like that. There we go. That feels about right. Okay, now that we're here, let's take this and drop this down, and take this and push it up. Let's duplicate this layer. Free transform, skew, free transform, there we go. Reinstate this. Drop back down here into the table layer. Let's go with 100%. Say about like that. Not bad. That's not right. Let's go to here. That's not jiving right either. Let's just take it to black, and then we'll figure out our fade from there. That's probably the best way to go. So there we go. Drop some shadow in here. Drop some shadow in here. And let's use our cloud tool for softening the brush, and we'll go with a light opacity. Yeah, didn't it turn out well? I fucking love that technique. This stuff looks so good. It's a little involved, but I think the results are worth it. And a little bit of shadow in the book interior there to match the overall values of the piece. And that should pretty much finish this one off. But thanks to Foxy, this was Fox's suggestion that we do this. I was kind of rifling through some ideas, and he was like, yeah, do that. And this is where it ended up at. So I think this turned out super good. So thanks, Fox. This was a great suggestion. I ended up really enjoying making this piece. This was super fucking fun. Just soften everything up here a little bit. Just lock it down. There. Yeah, just a little bit of interior for the book. Where are you at? Somewhere down here? This is where it belongs. Right here. What color is this? Something like that. I like it. Thanks. Yeah, I think we're sitting pretty. I like this. I can use this piece like in the bashing campaign when we get to the scriptorum. This would be a good illustration for a scriptorum or an arcane study, wherever we need. And I want to put. I think I want to put a little bit of a darkening back here, just to pull this forward a smidge. Just to give it a little bit more contrast. To get like I say, I like to work like light, dark, have striation patterns, or like dark, medium, light, dark, medium, dark, light, medium, dark, light, dark, whatever, striations like that. Timer? What time is it? 7:30? I got 20 minutes. It's like we have medium, dark, light, dark, light, medium, dark, medium. See, I do these striations. Light, medium, dark, medium, done. So I like doing those cascading patterns, like those break lines. It creates more contrast, which I think helps make each individual element in the piece stand out, which is a lot of the reasons why I choose the hair color and skin tones of different characters and NPCs or whatever it is I'm illustrating. It's mostly like, what's the composition Would like a dark skin and light hair work, or would a dark hair and light skin here work, or a mid-tone hair or mid-tone skin? Like, that's why I like Drow so much. It's because they've got very dark skin and shock white hair. They're built in to have a lot of contrast. So having them as a core, like a core species option in 5e allows you to drop Drow basically anywhere that you want. And if the composition wants that color, it's a viable option to consider. So I love that. I love that diversity angle that 5e has working for us to help improve our compositions and design work. And when you don't care about what the identity of the person in the illustration is, it lets you do whatever the composition wants just to make for a stronger piece. I love that. Add in some of this before we let it go. It's just some atmospheric texturing that I think is probably the best way we could put that. There, that feels pretty good. Thank you. There. And then let's see about dropping the opacity on that just a smidge. There we go. Now it looks like there's a wall back there catching, so I'm fine with that. There. If this was in the officer's quarters where she could be scribing these things, there would be a greenish wall back there. So on point. Yeah, the perspective is working. The texture is good. The lighting is good. We're going to call this piece done. So let's scroll up here. Let's fold it together. We're going to start in on a new piece now. So that is page 64 has been locked down. This entire block is resolved. Let's press save. And now when we have this piece on full screen in our PDF, there we go. Pretty happy with it. So let's peel open our left to do file. Page 64 is done. Let's see. We'll hit save there. Let's roll a d6 and see what our next illustration is going to be. We'll go to that page. We'll start pondering it. I don't have a lot of time left this morning, but we'll be back tomorrow for an extended session for a couple hours. We'll see what we end up doing. I rolled a 4, so that's going to be page 77. I have no idea what this is going to be, so let's find out together. I don't remember what's on page 77. I think it's monster art. Ooh, this might be the biggest illustration we have left. Hold on. Let's go find it. Page open. Production. Page 77. Looks like it's going to be another monster illustration in the Monster Menagerie section of the Monster Appendix. This, I believe, is the largest illustration we have left, and it is not a vignette. It is a legitimate space for us to do an illustration, and I have no idea what it's going to be. Yeah, there we go. This is a significant space that needs to be filled. We've got a ghoul, we've got a ghast, and we have an imp on this page. So what the hell? This is too large of a space for me to ignore. But the stat block, this is legitimately the full stat block for a ghoul. Like from the Monster Manual 2024, just reshaped into this 9-inch by 5.5-inch space. And as you can see, there is plenty of room for a D&D stat block in this portion. So I love, again, this ratio, the 16 by 9 ratio, the 17-inch by 10-inch space. that this document occupies, with a half-inch, with quarter-inch border here, and then a half-inch navigation strip at the bottom. It works out. So, but regardless, I have this illustration here that I need to build, so I don't necessarily know what that's supposed to be yet. So it's I don't want to add any new creature elements to here. Although I could have like character victims. I could do like crawling out of a grave. That might not be a bad idea. If we were to do like a little, maybe a little grave would be the best idea here for us. There and there. Let's merge these together. And there. And there. Let's merge these together. Because the whole thing in the adventure is that there's undead crawling out of unmarked graves all throughout this region. And get rid of that. So that's probably a good way to go. Let's start sketching out that idea. That won't be too much of a burden. Here, I'm trying to fix my windows over here. Sorry. Give me a second. Oh, fuck all. This is all going sideways very, very quickly. Come on, dude. Fuck all. Hold on. There we go. There. God, grabbing these things and moving them around is a pain in the ass. Yeah. Yeah, me too, my man. Me too. And I have my color references like literally right here, so that's going to be easy. Something like that. Transform. I mean, pretty easy cheesy. Just crawling out of the grave, but it's appropriate. So, we put a gravestone back here. Sovereign host be praised. Perfect. That'll be a fun little piece. This'll, once we clean it up and less slopify it, but it feels about right. Let's make that headstone a little bit smaller. Separate layer. About like that. That's a decent little composition. I've got all this spill space over here that I can lean into, so I don't have to necessarily crowd that up too much. I can space this over like this a little. What if I flipped it? view. Free transform. Then I can have some more mucky doodle over here. A little bit of an environment piece like we've done before. This will just be another iteration of it, but this time with undead. Yeah, that's a decent little piece. That'll be fun. We'll do that. That's what we're gonna do. This will be our next composition. I was concerned. I think this is the biggest piece that we have left. We're looking pretty fucking good. Okay, so we're gonna focus on this, but I am almost out of time, so we're not gonna make any progress on it at all. So I'm gonna brag about shit instead. Let me hit save here, and let me. I'm going to get rid of the instance. I want to show you. I want to show you the document so far. So we'll give this a moment to pop open. Cool. All right. Here's the Word document that we're operating inside of right now. And you can probably see most of it. Let me arrange my windows here so it's on screen for you guys. Okay, again, that 16:9 format that we're working with. We have successfully installed all of our navigation bars down here, so you can see these recurring lines. I leave these lines like this so I can, in case like text, something happens with the text that makes all of that bumps the margins. If I leave these lines in place here, see, it's just a box here that rides the bottom edge to the, it's a half-inch tall, and it's left aligned and bottom aligned on each page here. And then if we get down to, here's the map page that we did. Here, I'll show you this. This is an illustration. This is a box. So you go insert, shapes, square, and then you drop in something like, I don't know why it's not responding. Insert, shape, box. Oh, it's crying because I have a massive Word document open and I'm streaming at the same time. It hates that. So I'm going to have problems with actually doing anything here on screen with you guys. So hold on. Something's gone wrong. I'm going to have to back out of this. But anyway, okay, so yeah, this is falling apart because, okay, you can see here, click right. Yeah, my mouse isn't responding. Here, yeah, don't save. Instead, let's go to, I built here, I'll show you. Crystals in my bar. Hyperlink test 204. This will yield better results for the stream. Get out of here, Scallywag. Okay, so we saw that there was a frame. If I click this, it'll take us to this room. It takes us to the warehouse. And you can't see it here, but each of these buttons, like if I were to click on here, it'll take me to the table of contents. And then, like each one of these rectangles at the bottom of the page, they're all similarly hyperlinked. And every page in the book, I think I've gone too far. Here we go. Every page in the book has this runner down here. And this actually should be this one here. Like this should be the highlight button. Click. And if I click here, it's the same page. This needs to be the undead attack map. So I have it actually strung up on the wrong one. But this navigation bar here, we can't see it because the Microsoft. Hold on, I'm in the wrong area. There, and I'm trying to. Sorry, it's a little clumsy. When we built this navigation bar, we can't see here because Microsoft Word failed us, but we filled that box with spaces. So spaces are invisible. And then between these spaces in between here and here, I'm actually gonna. You saw I could press the button and it'll take you to that particular page. And then if I had my navigation bar here, I could click and it'll take me back. I can click here and it'll take me back. I can click here and it'll take me back. So I can bounce to the lumber mill. That's where that took us. Or we can go to the grain mill. That's where that takes us here. There's also the smithy. So if we go to the smithy down here and I click that, you see how it's highlighting like that? That highlight, that's the square that we put around it. So I have an invisible GIF file that's 100% transparent. And that's the image that is occupying that square. And then we take the image and we hyperlink the image so that when you roll over, it shows up as a clickable asset. And then when you click on it, it hyper navigates to the page inside of here. And when we have our navigation screen up here, like we can go to Appendix A and it'll drop us down to the monsters. So currently we're in the process of adding in all of the map pages and integrating all this stuff together. Yeah. This was the right button for this location. This button is supposed to be the Undead Village, which is a number of pages down. This is actually the wrong navigation button. So I'm gonna have to go through and fix all of those. But anyway, I wanted to share this with you. This is how the navigation works. And this takes you back to the table of contents. See, I have my bar here, and so what I'll be doing, and then we have the eye of my bar down here in the lower corner there. That'll take you to the table of contents. And then in table of contents, I can just bounce around the document. I can bounce back. So I can use this as navigation features to easily be able to maneuver around inside of the document. Here's the entrance. That'll take you to the entrance. So that's the navigation system. So PDFs are fucking cool. And but that's about all I have the time for today. Donate to build more RAM. Oh man, right on. Yeah, I'm kicking 32 RAM in this machine as it is right now, and it'll still bog down occasionally just because of the bulk of file that I'm using. When I upgrade to a new computer, which with God's grace won't be for another few years, I'm going to try to dive into 120. I'm going to try to get into 128 RAM. Use like an i11. We'll see where we end up at. But I've got a decent piece of machinery right now, and it's serving me well. But that's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and kick out of here. I got to go do my day. And I don't think I'm going to be back on for lunch, but I'll be back tomorrow morning. And I don't work tomorrow morning because by lunchtime I should be hanging out with my family. And but I'll be putting in a little bit of time at work tomorrow. So I have a half day at work, so I can show up late, like around. I can go till like 10 o'clock, and then at work I'll go from 10 till 2, and then I might be able to cut out a little bit early, but otherwise I'll be done with my day. And then I'll be back Saturday morning to continue working on color mana, converting the spells to the 5-color paradigm from the 8 schools. And then I'll be done for the day, and then we'll be back to normal. My family leaves on Sunday, so I'll be back to normal schedule on Monday, and we'll keep working on art. So that's it for now, guys. I'm out of here. Thanks a lot for everyone who's been checking this stuff out, and I'll be back tomorrow. See you then.